Chris Mangnall.
Thank you, Sir George. And can I start by congratulating the Right Honourable Gentleman from North Durham for securing this debate. It is curiously unique that we haven't had many of these debates, because going back through Hansard, we find that all too often during London International Shipping Week, this is a topic that is ignored. And I have to say, as a former shipbroker, one who served in Singapore, I say served, but worked in Singapore, and then in London and Nigeria, I really do believe I have seen some of the finer sides of the UK shipping industry, and also what it means to our economy. And I have to start off, Sir George, by saying what a fantastic opportunity it is in this chamber to get together to see the common sense agreement across the House about the value of the maritime sector in coastal communities, in ports, in infrastructure, in pay, and what needs to be done across the country to see it thrive. And I want to pay particular tribute and attention to the shipping services of this country. And while a significant proportion of them are based in London, I hope that colleagues will also reflect that across all four corners of the United Kingdom, there are burgeoning businesses that are benefiting from the UK's leading shipping services, whether that be in accountancy, arbitration, classification, consultancy, education, finance, insurance, legal. It is all based here. And whether you are in Singapore or Nigeria or Geneva or the Middle East, you will always find that people talk of the UK as the capital of the shipping industry. And this is something that we need to protect, not something that we must be complacent about, but something that we must reflect on and recognise that if we do not compete, if we do not challenge those around the world, that we will lose our status. And I hope the Minister recognises that this isn't a debate for us to have a go at him. It is a debate for us to encourage him. And we know him to be a highly energetic minister and one who we have a great deal of support, certainly to take this issue up. And we also have what I believe to be is a very ambitious maritime strategy. The 2050 strategy, I do believe, touches on a number of the right points that have been raised in this debate. And I think, again, the third or fourth point in that report makes this point that if we are not turbocharged, if we are not active in supporting and securing businesses in the UK, they will move abroad. Singapore and Geneva are competing every day to take businesses away from this country and to base them over there. So we must recognise the need to be able to point out our failures where necessary, support our successes where available, and to look at the opportunities of where government policy can support. Now, the Right Honourable Gentleman from North Durham talked about the point of research and development, and I'm so pleased he did, because we have rightly in our manifesto committed as government policy to 2.4% of GDP to research and development. And we talk about the invention of the telephone in this. And I think now about the inventions that we can put hand in hand into shipping services to allow us to tackle climate change, to allow us to look at the new inventions that will help us create a truly 21st green maritime sector that can be traded not just across the United Kingdom and across our coastal communities, but across the world and is used by others. I'm particularly delighted the Honourable Gentleman also pointed out about Norway. We're not expecting the UK necessarily to be building oil tankers and container ships, but where we can retrofit vessels with new technology that is high-end, that allows us to capitalise on the work of the IMO in its ambitions for 2040 in terms of carbon neutrality, then we must look to try and do that here. It is eminently possible and should be hand in hand with our levelling up agenda. Now, we're home to companies such as Lloyd's, the Baltic Exchange, Platts, and numerous brokerages, of two of which I've served with. I think they're probably rather pleased to see the back of me. However, there is a sense that this is an industry that is open to people from all walks of life. It doesn't need a degree to go into in some cases. You can enter into it at any stage. It is something that I think when we talk about the levelling up agenda, we must recognise that it is something that is eminently achievable and allows us to attract more people. So if I may add a few pleas to the Minister. Firstly, I think we need to look around tax regulation and incentive schemes. I think we need to look at how our flag, our maritime flag, is utilised both in the UK and further abroad. I think we need to look at about how we can champion maritime security. I think we need to talk more about supply chain resilience. And I think we need to think about how we can get more people into maritime colleges. And I'm very pleased to say, and this is that there will be an invitation to follow, that Nos-on-Dart in my own constituency is setting up a maritime college within South Devon College with the express purposes of getting people into the maritime sector at every level. So there are opportunities coming up. There is a I would say in FE colleges, a broad thinking about how we can support this sector. We have the history of being a good trader, very strong, a globally leading trading nation with an extraordinary maritime history. We must return to that thinking because it will help us in our ambitions of global Britain. It will help us in our ambitions as we join new organisations like CPTPP, which I hope we will be doing next year. And I think, Sir George, it's perfectly fair to think of the member for Thurrock, like Helen of Troy. She could launch 1,000 ships. That is what we should be aspiring to in the years to come. So there are, dictum meum pactum, as the Baltic Exchange says. My word is my bond. And I think we must be very conscious that there is huge opportunity for us to develop this sector, to support it, to grow it, to encourage people to enter into it. We can, once again, rule the waves.